What is up, my fellow Chibits? Today, I'm here to bring all of you the weekly anime review of Dragon Ball Super. It has been a while. It was on break last week, and I honestly didn't expect it to be on break, because I was missing Dragon Ball Super. I'm glad it's back. I'm glad it's here. I'm glad to see some more content in the continuation of this arc. So, first things first, diving straight headfirst into it, let's talk about the preview for next week's episode, because oh my, I saw the preview, and I've been hearing little talks behind the scenes of it, but now seeing it for myself, I'm like, oh, okay, so this is actually happening. So let's just dive right into it. If you haven't seen the preview of, the next week's episode, like, go to the end of this week's episode of Dragon Ball Super, watch it, because I want to talk about it. So, apparently, we're getting some form of pink Super Saiyan. Super Saiyan Rose, I think that's the name, or Super Saiyan Pink. It's one of those two different name titles to the new form that Goku Black is using. And I just... Okay. Okay. It's stupid. It's stupid. It's fucking stupid. It's stupid. Sorry. It's stupid. Look, I'm all for transformations. I'm all for, new form stuff. No problem with that. I have no problem. But the name, Super Saiyan Pink, Super Saiyan Rose, just like... Okay. So, I don't know how to feel about it. I really don't know how to feel about it. I'm just gonna say I'm not a big fan of the name. I'm not. Yeah. Anyways, getting off of that, though. So, apparently, he's going Super Saiyan Rose. Goku Black is. It's going to be an interesting fight. I can't wait to see, Goku and Vegeta go up against him to see what type of power Super Saiyan Rose has. How is it stronger than Super Saiyan Blue? Is it at the same level? Is it stronger? A long time ago, I think Akira Toriyama, he did say that the color red is stronger than blue. Or he believes the color red is stronger than blue. So, if I had to go by anything, since it's kind of a slightly reddish tint, rose or pink, I would say that might be stronger than Super Saiyan Blue, so it's probably going to be a very good fight. Anyways, talking about the actual episode, Zamasu. Oh, Zamasu as a villain. Becoming very interesting. I think, as I've said many times already, that one of the things that Dragon Ball has been lacking is a good villain. I mean, we could say that Frieza's resurrection, he was a main core villain, and Frieza is a good villain. But I'm talking about a new villain that has a very good motive. And if we think back at the track record of Dragon Ball Z and stuff, and even Dragon Ball Super, there's not many villains that really, so to say, have a very good motive, or a different motive, that doesn't, have the same type of mentality. Like, if we look at a lot of villains in Dragon Ball, a lot of villains want either world domination, the destruction of all the universes, or humankind, or whatever, just something very basic. And I mean, you could argue that Zamasu, he's someone that wants kind of something very similar. He wants to destroy all of humankind, or anything with human-like intelligence. But the way Zamasu is, he's very different from the normal villain. The way he's getting this motive built up, the way we see his character, he's not necessarily evil. He's not an evil villain. He's sort of like a character that is misguided. He has had his entire viewpoint of humans and justice and all that warped to the point to where he truly believes what he is doing is actually good. It's seen throughout this episode with his scenes with his mentor teaching him about humankind and telling him, what you're doing is wrong, trying to intervene or become God and messing with them. It was something I would like to see. The way the tea was constantly changing in clarity, the way it went from murky to completely crystal clear, showed you the type of mind or focus that Zamasu actually had with what he was thinking or what he was doing. At first, he was kind of divided. He didn't know what he was doing, if it was really good or not. But then when he actually found out that majority of the Supreme Kais are just destined to watch, they can't really intervene, he's like, it's a sin to not intervene or do something like this. It's not justice, what you're doing right now. And so when you saw the entire tea become completely clear, he was like, I now know what I have to do. He's like, I will intervene. I will do something to stop humans and all that and put them down. And he was calling what his mentor was doing was a sin. So, I mean, the way Zamasu's entire motive has been built up, it's tasteful, and it's something I actually like. And it's not something we normally see in Dragon Ball. I mean, look, all the other villains, they had some build-up and all that, which makes them very good. I mean, one of the biggest iconic villains in Dragon Ball Z is Frieza, Cell, Boo. Those are the big 3 villains right there. And this is possibly the next big villain that has a very kind of warped and different motive and isn't necessarily an evil main villain. Someone that is just doing things they think is actually right. And I love that about Zamasu's character, the way he's so different, the way he stands out, and the way he believes what he is doing is actually good. So I can't wait to see more of him. I can't wait to see exactly how he stands out, and to see how his development continues to go, and see exactly how eventually he might become someone like Goku Black, or if he does become Goku Black. And once again, I gotta point out, it was thanks to Goku the why Zamasu is even turning out like this. It was thanks to Goku intervening and talking with this man is what caused Zamasu to go into this type of state. So Goku directly caused the actual outcome of Goku Black, most likely. So that's cool. That's very cool. Now, off of that point, let's talk about something that popped up in this episode that added more world building. And as I've said already, I love world building in Dragon Ball Z, and Super. I love world building, and this episode once again dives into some more world building. And that would be how the Kais are linked to the god of destruction, Beerus, or probably all of the gods in the different universes. So, Beerus states that, please protect the Kai. Don't let any harm come to the Kai. Do not let the Kai get hurt, get killed, whatever. Protect the Kai. And it's revealed that if something was to happen to this Kai, for instance, get beat up, which in terms I would assume probably die, that would mean something would happen to Beerus. And so, if you were to defeat the Kai, you indirectly defeat Beerus. Now, this raises many questions, because it's not exactly stated what really happens to Beerus or not, but the only thing I could assume is a couple of outcomes. One, if the Kai gets killed, or all the Kais, I'm assuming, gets killed, that would mean that Beerus either dies, 2, he disappears, like his existence may get erased, or 3, maybe he gets weakened. Maybe he just doesn't have his full power. He's weakened and he doesn't have that power of the god of destruction. One or the other. But we do know that the Kais have a direct link and a connection to Beerus. So the Kais are very, very important. Oh, way more important than we actually thought of. Like, we knew Supreme Kais were pretty damn strong and all that. But now seeing that Supreme Kais now have links to the gods, and if they were to disappear, something would happen to the god in that said universe. What does this mean? And what role will this play in the future? Because now we know a weakness to Beerus. If, let's say, Supreme Kai was to be killed, what would that mean for Beerus? Wouldn't something bad happen to him? So, a lot of questions are happening right now. Like, okay, so what would happen if, like, Supreme Kai died? Now, here's the next thing I have to ask. So, if the Kais have a direct link to Beerus, so if the Kais were, let's say, to all die or whatever, wouldn't that mean that what happened a while back, for instance, in the Buu saga, wouldn't that have been a time for when Beerus should have intervened and did something? Because think about this. If the Kais, if something bad happens to the Kais and something happens to Beerus, why didn't Beerus or Whis jump in to save the Kais when Majin Buu and Babidi were going around, or Bibidi, not Babidi, my bad, when Bibidi was with Buu and taking out all of the Kais? Like, why didn't Beerus jump in? Now, you could say Beerus wasn't thought of at that time. He wasn't planned or anything for the story, which that's most likely true. But, how are they going to fit that in now? Like, why didn't Beerus help out? You could say Beerus was asleep. Fine, you could say that. But the main question is, Whis obviously might know. He probably has a connection. He probably knew what was going on or something. Why didn't he intervene? Why didn't he try to stop what was going on with the Kais? Or why didn't the Kais say something to Beerus if they had this connection with him the entire time? Because if they're directly linked to him, and if they all get wiped out, that would hurt Beerus. So why didn't he jump in to save the Kais that were getting obliterated? You get my point here. Now, another thing too we have to wonder is, what if Bibidi's entire motive, some of the motives we knew about, were related to Beerus? Like, how he was wiping out all the Kais and shit? what if some of the motives we didn't know the full story, the whole background of some of these characters like Boo and, you know, Bibbidi? What if there was more behind the scenes that we knew of, and maybe it was directly linked to Beerus, why the Kais are being hunted down and completely killed off? I mean, we knew already what he was wanting to do, but what if there was more to it? So, once again, there's a lot of potential here for some very good world building, characterization for some characters, and also some potential build-up. So, hopefully we get to actually find out exactly why Beerus never helped out the Kais. So getting off of that subject, let's go into some other things. So, our characters, they finally make it into the future. They're in Trunks' timeline. You have it to where Goku, Vegeta, and Trunks are there. And obviously, Goku is being targeted by everybody that's still alive because he looks like Goku Black. And so he's going to be the first person to get targeted and try to get killed. Which obviously, it's going to be kind of hard to explain how you look like Goku Black, but you're not Goku Black. It's going to be something very difficult. And especially when your name is pretty much the same thing. Like, your name is Goku and the man's called Goku Black. So it's going to be hard to kind of explain to someone. So I wonder how he's going to get out of this issue with the humans constantly targeting Goku. It's a different type of feel that we haven't seen in a while. Goku being the one constantly targeted by people, like when it comes to regular humans and stuff. So yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. How do you all feel about this week's episode of Dragon Ball Super? Did you enjoy it? Did you hate it? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I love you all so much. Please be safe. Chibi out.